So everybody keeps talking about how you go out and purchase new properties, right? New multifamilies. Well, if you're feeling a little bit stuck, I'm going to talk to you about the 5 steps to going out and buying more properties that are going to help you to get unstuck. Coming up. Hey there, it's Billy with Keep On Cash Flow, and I'm here once again to continue to share tips and strategies that are going to help you to go out and make more money. It's going to help you to have more control over your free time and ultimately live with less stress. So if it's your first time here, why don't you go ahead and do yourself a favor and subscribe to the channel. And also you'll want to make sure that you stick around until the end, because you're going to get a chance to leave your comments and also check out any links that are really important as it relates to today's content. And also feel free to, if you find this very valuable, feel free to like and share this with other people as well. So let me come back to the whole question of the what are steps, right? Because I hear this a lot of time, being someone who is an investor who lives in Europe and actually invests back in multifamily real estate back in the United States. People are constantly asking me, like, Billy, how do you actually go out? Like, what's your process to go out and buy properties? And I know I've talked about some of this before, but I was recently at a real estate investing seminar, and this kind of came up during one of the parts of the seminar, and afterwards I was talking about this with people afterwards, and I've had a couple of conversations since then. I thought, well, let me just take a few minutes and share this with you as well. So there's kind of 5 key steps, and I think the number one thing, especially for someone who is a long distance investor, if you're looking to invest outside of your hometown or even in your hometown, like, everything starts with having a very clear idea of the team, specifically talking about the buying process. There's some other things that you need to individually do and be clear on before, but in terms of being able to go out and buy the property, and I'm talking about multifamily properties here, is having a strong team. And that strong team is comprised of a number of different players. You have everyone from the broker who is really looking at going out to acquire the new property. You have a whole side of the team that is really focused on the legal aspects. You may have people that are helping you through your due diligence, that may be types of different inspectors. You may have different places that you find your team members, right, as well. You may find them online through different tools like LoopNet or MLS or CoStar, these types of places. But ultimately, you need someone that can help you to actually identify and source new opportunities once you actually get them under contract, that can help you go through the step-by-step process that we'll come to a little bit later in this discussion. But ultimately, you need a team. You need a team to help you, especially on the multi-family properties. And then the second part of that is actually something that may be a little bit controversial, right? Because a lot of times people talk about, how do you go out and locate the right property? And I guess the way that I've always thought about it is like the exact same way when I'm going out and I'm talking to my clients in the big multinationals, right? In the B2B sales, is rather than looking for a property, it's really looking for what problem are you trying to solve as an investor. And so if you can go out and locate the problem that you are trying to solve, and that is wrapped up in a property, then that gives you a chance to go out and find that. And like, you can find properties in many different ways. I mean, you may want to go to LoopNet, you may want to go to the MLS, you may want to go to CoStar. I've also found, and those are kind of on-market type of ways to do, where you can really find great problems to solve, are those that are off market, meaning that they're not in plain sight from everyone else. You are able to find those different problems to solve because of the relationships and the teams that you've probably already built. So that's the second thing, is really looking for different problems to solve. Once you do that, once you've been able to find the problem to solve, then you actually have to analyze the actual property that encompasses the problem that you're trying to solve. And so what are the different steps that you do to analyze the property? What types of rules are you using? Sometimes people, I know when we talk about single family or smaller multifamily, people tend to look at different types of rules. I know I've talked about in the past the 1.5 rule or the 1.25 or the 1% rule, whatever that case may be, but you're analyzing the property to really quickly make a go, no-go decision. Once you've done that, you probably, at that point, you're going to want to look into some deeper things. You're looking at what is the different revenue that you have, what are the different expenses, operating expenses to be specific, and that gives you your net operating income. And for those of us that love multifamily, we know that everything is about the net operating income. And what can we do to actually increase that? Can we drive out cost or inefficiencies, and how do we also build the amount of revenue or increase the amount of revenue that's there? But that whole analysis of the property and helping you to understand, is this really a problem that you want to solve? That is, that actually takes you to step number 4. And step number 4 is, once you figured out that this makes sense for you, it's time to put in and make an offer, right? You need to be able to make an offer on the property. And typically what happens with the multifamily, right, is you're going to put in a letter of intent, which is getting you through your broker or directly, if you have that relationship, giving your intentions to actually purchase under which types of terms and conditions, provided that that's accepted. And you'll probably go back a couple of different times, and don't be offended if your letter of intent is not accepted, right? Typically you're going to get a response, and that could be either a rejection or a counter offer or whatever the case may be, but you need to put in an offer. 100% of the deals that you don't put an offer on are rejected, right? Because you didn't put an offer in on. And then once you make the offer, then you're going to have to negotiate, right? You're going to have to negotiate, because I don't know if I've seen, personally I've not seen, I've heard people have done that, but on the first offer that things were accepted, right? So you need to make sure that you're making an offer and that you're negotiating. And then lastly, once you're able to close on the deal, you may also be in a point where you're like me, right? You're going out and you're looking to also raise capital so that you can do larger deals, so that you can bring more people in and help more people, right? So once you get the offer, once you've gone out and you've negotiated, you want to raise more capital and you want to be able to close on the deal and bring that new property into your portfolio. And that's allowing you to go out and solve a problem. And hopefully you're doing that with a number of investors that are with you and things like that. So I mean, that just trying to make it as simple as possible. You want to go out and you want to make sure that you're building the team. You want to go out and you want to locate a problem that you want to be willing to solve. You want to analyze the property. You want to make sure that you make the offer and negotiate, and then you want to be able to raise the capital and close on the deal. So those are really the 5, like if you could boil it down as easy as possible, the 5 steps that you need to take to go out and bring new properties into your portfolio. So I'd love to hear what your comments are. You all know that I love that. Please let me know of these 5 steps. Were you familiar with these 5 steps? If so, which one may be new? I'd love to hear that from you. And for those of you, as I mentioned before, as I am an investor who lives in Europe and invests back in multifamily in the United States, one of the things that people ask me all the time is kind of, how do you do that? Well, I've spelled it out really simple in a very simple to follow, or easy to follow and very simple ebook. And you can pick that up at keeponcashflow.com/roadmap. Just leave your email and I'll send that book right out to you. So once again, this is Billy Keels with Keep on Cashflow. That's my 2 cents for today, everybody. And as always, hasta la próxima.